Welcome back to Let's Play 3D Game Heroes. We should probably not be on top of that castle anymore. We should probably be, I don't know, actually trying to go save the world. Now, a thing to note are these loading screens. The game's come up with some interesting imagery for all of the loading screens, and I do believe most, if not all of them, are a reference to something. I'm sure somebody out there in internet land has already gone to the trouble of putting together a list of what all of the loading screens reference, and there's my quest for all of you. Find me that list, because I am genuinely curious. Also, from the pause menu, you can go down to loading art, and you can actually look through all the loading screens that you've seen. So that's kind of neat. Now from here, we need to go somewhere to the grass temple. I think that's where it said we're supposed to go, which is the blinking temple off there to the left. Now there's a question for all of you. If you're actually curious enough to see the various loading screens, I can leave them on. On the title screen, there is an option to turn or to install the game software to the PS3, which I thought I already had. But in case I haven't, doing that would probably make the loading screens go faster, so I can do that if people genuinely just don't care. Now, we have come to our first little town. Rajak Village. Now, here in Rajak Village, there are actually some things what we can do. There are two stores here, where you can go in and go, hey, we can buy stuff, what do we want to buy? I can buy an iron shield if we have enough money, and I do, so I'll probably come back to that in a minute. This guy will let us do a little thing, but we don't have the dash boots yet. Garf. Dang! Right next door is a blacksmith, where you can go in and talk to that guy, and he can actually forge and improve the sword what you're using. You can actually increase the length, width, and strength of the beam. You can also enable spin. On this sword it already is. That's like the ability to turn while spinning. You can make it so the sword shoots beams. You can give it piercing, which will let it go through the environment. You can set it all back to its defaults, and you can potentially give something a special ability. Not all swords have a special, but if it does, special should be your first priority in upgrading this sword. You see, off to the right, you see max potential. That means you can spend at most 2300 G on improving this sword. That will not necessarily max everything out that can be maxed. Now, piercing is probably something else that you want to get right away, but I don't have enough money. From the menu, you can go to the sword page where you can see all of the empty stars are stars that can be filled in. So I can give this thing 5 points of length, 5 points of width, and a bunch of points of strength. Up until I hit the max potential, anyway. Potential, I believe, is how much you have remaining. I haven't upgraded at all, so potential is potential. So that's the blacksmith. You're gonna be coming there a lot. Now, aside from that, in the upper right-hand corner... Oh no, a dude was shot. There's an inventor! Sure thing! Heck yeah! Mega Man reference if you hadn't guessed. But now we can press square to dash. While we don't have piercing, the dash is kind of cumbersome because it stops as soon as we hit a wall. And you can see there's a little slime here. I'm rooting for you. Let's see if I remember what was in this house. Items. So you can come in here and get money. Free money, man! Good luck with that. Sure thing! This quest you want to accept as early in the game as possible. There are metallic silver slimes that run around the landscape. They're really quick, really hard to kill. At least early game, they are. But if you kill 10 of them, you get to go back to him. Now in the next house is some dude, also free money. Her spell set? Yes! Go for your childhood friend! So, this is a small little thing what you can do. I don't remember if it actually runs out or not. Like, if there's a time period where you can't do that little event anymore. Now, in these houses here, I don't think there actually is anything of note in this one. No thanks. I have use for my 5Gs. Lemmings! Okay, now here, if you can fight your way clear to the back, you get a bottle. Bottles are useful. You can put stuff in them. Admittedly, when I played through this game before, I never actually put anything in a bottle. So I actually don't have too much of an idea of what they do. I'm sure we'll figure it out. People are probably wondering if I'm going to be 100%ing this game. I'm going to be attempting to 100% this game. We'll see how fast I get ticked off at the dash circuit. We have an item shop here. Nothing here I especially care about. And then down here at the bottom is an inn. And if you go over and talk to this guy here, it's pretty alright. Sure thing. Talking to him actually triggers an event. After we beat the first dungeon, we've lost out on the event. So yeah, get your butt in here and talk to him. Now, I think that's just about everything we can do in town here. He tells us interesting things. I think that's about it. I'm gonna go buy that shield. So, hey guy. Now, shields are... Any shield you get is automatically more powerful than the shield you got before it, so it's just automatically equipped. Nothing to worry about. I got a shield now. Which button is guard? R1. So with all that said, we can actually go about on our quest. Wait. Killing the bunnies! Ninja Turtles? Now over here, there is a small chest with a small block in it. These small blocks are actually used to speak to the king, who will sell you new swords for blocks. Ah, you monster! I couldn't remember what the guard button was. And now that I've been hit at all, my sword is dinky. In general, the strategy with this game is, if you get hit, farm life until you get full life. If you don't have full life, farm until you do. But this here is the first temple. Right there on a map. Into the grass temple we go. Perhaps this? I know I'm pretty great, aren't I? Lee is pretty adorable. Ah! A giant sword! Once again! Now this dungeon introduces a couple new enemies, the slimes and the scorpions. As well as the skeletons here. Now, the scorpions are probably one of the more annoying enemies to deal with. Oh man, we got a key. We cannot go through this door, we've got to hit that switch first. And we can't hit it because it is too far, and our sword cannot hit switches. The slimes are... well, they're slimes. They're generally just a joke. We can use our key to open that door. Oh, it also gives us bats, which are also kind of a joke. The scorpions are kind of terrible, because they will charge you. The bats you can only hit while they're on the ground. Now, these blocks have a different symbol on top of them. That means you can push them. Some blocks you can push multiple times, some blocks you can push just once. Now, the skeletons are a little more annoying as well. They generally move slowly, but if you attack them from the front, they will guard. And if they catch sight of you, they will charge you. And now we got a map. You can tell this game is that Zelda-like. I mean, we had our big overworld with screens, we've got our dungeons with individual rooms. It's a very Zelda-like dungeon. We still can't get through the door to the lower right, so we're just gonna have to continue on this way. It's kind of all we can do right now. Now, even though the sword does not have piercing, you can, in general, hit enemies around a corner by doing a slash. it'll probably give you a little bit more leeway than normal. Oh, also these stupid things. Evasion skills! Those shoot at you if you hadn't guessed. Sure thing! Now, unlike the other switches, these we can actually push with our forehead. Drops a chest in the middle, but there's no way to get to that chest. Oh wait, no, we can push this block. Haha, boomerang! Now we have a second button. And we can boomerang dudes. Now, if you happen to see an enemy with a crown over its head, that generally means the enemy is, I don't believe faster, or I don't believe stronger, but it is faster. Boop. And a much needed key. I don't believe it's stronger, but it is much faster than normal enemies, which makes them kind of a pain in the butt to deal with. In fact, some enemies just become unrealistic to deal with. Once you've cleared out a room, it will stay cleared out, at least for a time. If you go far enough back, enemies will respawn. However, if you leave a single enemy alive, the enemy will, or the room will repopulate. He just kind of charged into my sword there. I will say one thing if you don't have piercing. One thing to note if you don't have piercing, and this is one of the minor complaints about this game. If you don't have piercing, swinging your sword around actually gets really troublesome. Because it actually feels like your sword will get caught on things that it shouldn't get caught on. I don't think we have a key. No, we do have a key. I'll come back to that room, though. All I can do is keep swinging. As long as I have full life, everything will be alright. Now I got 2 keys. Now which way am I going? If I go left, that is a dead end. I'll go ahead and go this way now, though, just to show it off. There's not really much we can do in the room right now. Ah, dang it, I got hit. Crap. Crap! I need a better sword. I need health. Give me the health. Ah, now we actually did need to come in here for the boss key. Now this door here, we do not have a key for. If you look at the map, that that door is red. Well, if you look at it, it's red too. We need a red key to open that door. Red keys are special keys. They are not the same as normal keys. Whereas if you look up into the right, that door is yellow and does not require a red key. It can be opened with a normal key. Hey, hey. Yes! Sword max, go! Clear out all the dudes, what are just kind of standing around. That skeleton guy, he takes a beating. Now, what do I do in here? I stab a guy. And I get another heart. And I got a small block. Okay. Now, as mentioned, I'm going to attempt for 100%, but we'll see how fast I get ticked off at the dash circuit and block defense. Also of note is there are not enough small blocks immediately collectible in the game to collect all of the things, or to buy all of the swords from the king. However, there is a couple ways to get a continuous supply of small blocks without having to go into New Game Plus. So, probably gonna look into that. Of course! Ah, yes. There was a panel like that in the very first room. See, now, this is one of the things where it feels like my sword is colliding with something that shouldn't, like... Well, it was hitting that wall there. Like, why is it hitting the wall there? When I can... Like, I was over, like, a pixel? I don't know. But that takes us back to the beginning. Once you get to the end of the dungeon, you unlock a warp. So you can very quickly enter and exit the dungeon. That's a triangle button. There's also a really long loading screen. This is also the game locking up. I'd say another minor qualm with this game is that it does occasionally lock up during loading screens. However, I was at the boss. I unlocked the portal back to the beginning of the dungeon, so until next time, everyone, we'll pick up with me wandering on in to beat up that boss. Until next time, everyone.